Hello and welcome to Hot at Home, Your Questions Answered. Alright, we got a really good one today. One of my subscribers has emailed me and asked me, what do you do when others try to derail you, especially some of your friends? When I told some mentors I was going to lift weights, I was told ladies don't. Women's bodies should be soft. As I train in Tantra, the teachers there were like, shock, horror, lifting weights is really a no-no. I was told I was a goddess, I should not lift weights like a man. Luckily, I do not listen to people like that. I make up my own mind. However, I see this as an area that many other people must struggle with. What do you do with people like that? Acceptance of what of you going after your goals that you know are right for you can be a really big deal in a lot of people's lives. I know people who their spouse might be against them losing weight because the spouse feels worse about themselves. If suppose the husband's overweight and the wife is trying to lose weight, the husband feels bad about himself and wants to keep sort of everybody in sort of his sphere. And while he might want the best for his wife, in his heart, or in his head, in his heart, he might feel sort of either left out or left behind or less good about himself because he's not trying to make himself better or whatever. Or coworkers who just like to sabotage you for the fun of it, Oh, you're trying to lose weight? Here, but I brought some cookies to work today. You're not going to try a cookie? Come on, why not? What are you going to do? You can't insult me. Eat, or the traditional grandmother who wants her son to eat. You're so skinny. You got to eat, or whatever. It can be tough. I mean, when I was going through my own transformation as well, I used to carry my rice and lentils with me to my brother's place and to visit him and his kids, and I would get the sort of what, we're having a big turkey dinner, you're going to sit there and eat rice and lentils? It's like, well, yeah, right now I'm sort of doing a huge calorie control thing right now, and I don't want to blow it, so I'm going to, do this and be like, oh, what the heck, you don't fit in. So, you should have dinner with us just so you can fit in, It's like, well, I don't want to fit in. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to have a smoking hot body, and I want to look good and feel good, and I want to be healthy, and I want to, not that they're all overweight or anything. They're not. The kids are all in sports. Everything's great, but I want to achieve a level above the average person, and in order to do that, I need to do things that the average person is willing to do. And for me, that was eating rice and lentils while my brother ate turkey and gravy. So what do you do with people like that? I mean, it depends on who you are, I guess. I'm kind of become a very strong person emotionally, and I just stand up to them and tell them, look, this is what I'm doing. If you don't like it, off you go. But a lot of people, they don't want to be as blunt as I might be, and sometimes you just kind of have to bite your tongue and know in your heart that what you're doing for you, and you're not doing it for anybody else. And what everybody else says or wants you to do, oh well, for them. And so you can just know in your heart you're doing the right thing and make your excuses, whatever they may be. If they're a soft sell or a hard sell like me, like bug off, this is what I'm doing, or, just make an excuse that maybe, you can always make up excuse too. A little white lie it won't hurt in this situation. You can, say you're on some kind of medication right now and you can't have that kind of food, or, you're being tested for allergies and you can't have wheat, or, make up something that will allow them to be okay with it, I guess, if you don't want to be blunt like I am. But another thing, too, is that you can try and explain to people what you're up to, but if they refuse to understand and their mind is already made up about sort of their side of things, like these people that say you shouldn't lift weights when that's how you're going to get shapely arms and a toned-looking body, and that's the kind of body shape that you're after. Maybe what they're doing for themselves, they like to be soft and mushy, and so maybe what they're doing for themselves is right for them. But just because it's right for them doesn't mean it's right for everybody. So if you know what you're doing is right for you, and it's obvious that their mind is closed, then save yourself the grief of trying to convince them of your side of things, because it'll just wind up being a frustrating argument where they're right and they're right for themselves, and you're right and you're right for yourself. But trying to get them to meet you in the middle will be impossible, because people whose minds are made up and whose minds are closed, that's a really hard sell. So just be silent in those cases, and take their advice with a grain of salt. Know that what you're doing for yourself is the right thing for you, and listen to their advice politely, and then close your mind. Just like they've done to you. If they've closed their mind to you, why can't you close your mind to them? So be polite and say thank you, and then go do what you bloody well want. Yeah, so if you know what you're doing is the right thing for yourself, then don't put up with other people's need to sabotage you. If someone at work wants to give you a cookie, then take the cookie. Tell them you just had a big lunch and you're going to eat it later, and then stick it in your drawer, and then when they're not looking, throw it out. They don't have to know, right? Wasting a cookie is not going to make sure that starving kids in India get to eat, so don't feel bad about wasting food. Yeah, it's wasteful. I believe that that's true, but if they're handing you something that's ultimately harming your health and sabotaging your goals, then I see absolutely no reason why you shouldn't just be polite and throw it out when they're not looking. So, feed your own soul, do what's right for you, and let everybody else around you do what's right for them, but don't let them affect what's right for you. Okay? Hope that really helped you out, and we'll see you guys again next time. Take care.